They better. That's what I'm going to say is the answer to that question. At the end of the day, did you close? The answer last night was an emphatic no. They did not close. Am I worried about them? Sure. Do I believe they can still win this series? Absolutely.
All right, so that's your friend, your partner in crime, yep. Stephen A. Smith. You know how he is, right? I mean, what is you know what this city feels like right now? That was a punch to, well, actually more. It was more of a kick below the gut, if you know what I mean.
Below the belt line.
What is your sense of tonight?
There will be an urgency tonight that we haven't seen felt in Madison Square Garden, and beyond that. I mean, these sort of watch parties and looking like, Times Square on New Year's Eve in Manhattan. It's really cool, Greeny, even as somebody who has never lived in New York but has spent, oh my God, so much time here over 44 years covering sports and seeing the Knicks when they were relevant, the Patrick Ewing Knicks when they were relevant. They have to win this game. And I think the Knicks will respond. I don't think they're weak-minded or fragile. They're not. Now, we can wonder that about Minnesota because we haven't seen that group necessarily prove it, although this group of Knicks hasn't done it collectively.
Yep.
But individually, Jalen Brunson has won championships, for those who forgot that he was at Villanova.
Sure.
And he's leading that group. And whatever you want to say critically about Tibbs, I guess you can. You can talk about rotations. You can talk about lack of offensive creativity. But you're not talking about toughness mentally. So I expect the Knicks to have responded already, Jay Will, yesterday and this morning, and will respond tonight in kind.
You picked out a play that you think was sort of a perfect illustration of how the Knicks let that game get away.
Well, they just had so many miscues down the stretch. And here's one defensively that Tibbs and personnel coming off the challenge, which they were able to get turned around, right? Like this is a moment, a stoppage in time where you have to get the personnel properly on the court. Look at this play, guys. You're going to be blown away. So time situation, 136, 135, 20 seconds left to go in this moment. And look at the versatility in the court. McBride, Hart, Bridges, OG, Mitchell Robinson. You can switch everything. 20 seconds, switch everything. Look at this situation right up here in this corner, okay? It's gonna be a little screen. Off the screen, what you're gonna see is a little action off the screen. Boom, he's gonna switch. He's gonna switch. He's gonna go right to there. Perfect, nice and easy. Watch it, Mike, watch that quadrant, okay? As the play develops, let's go slow. Ball gets inbounded. Oh, they switch, right? You see the switch. Now, great. If you're switching everything, now pay attention to what's about to happen when we get to this next part of the play right here. Dribble handoff. You're switching everything, right, Mike?
Yep.
You're already in it. You're switching everything. Now 19.7 seconds left to go in the game. Here we go. Switch. They don't switch. Why are you not switching? Why are you not switching? Why are you not switching? Rotating over from the weak side. Boom, dunk. They're up 3. Those kind of miscues. Stoppage in time. Tibbs, somebody in the court. Hey, guys, we're switching everything. No miscues. Now, I don't know if Mitchell Robinson
leads me to that question, Jay
just had a brain fart, Mike,
Mitchell Robinson
or what?
had that brain cramp there, or when he just sort of plays free safety and gets caught no place.
But that can't happen, Mike. That can't happen. And by the way, when you have that much stoppage in time, who's bringing these guys together? Where's Tibbs saying, yo, switch everything?
To some degree, and we can get Winman, I'm told we have him back here in OKC. We were talking yesterday about how Rick Carlisle pushed a lot of really good buttons the other night. One, going small late in that game, got them a lot, pulled Mitchell Robinson away from the basket, got them several open looks, uncontested looks at the basket late in that game, which you wouldn't expect. You demonstrated yesterday one of those that led to a layup. And
against probably the Knicks' best defensive lineup.
Yes.
So obviously they had counted, they'd already anticipated some of this, had their best defensive lineup on the court for what Carlisle was doing.
Winman, what is your sense of tonight's critical Game 2 Pacers-Knicks at the Garden?
Yeah, I thought the Knicks did a lot of things well in Game 1. I think most importantly, other than at the beginning of the game and the very end, they controlled the pace. And to me, who's controlling the pace is who's winning the fight. And the Pacers were able, to speed it up, but only after the Knicks built a big lead playing at their speed. I thought Karl Towns played arguably his best game of the postseason. He was able to be really effective against the Pacers defense. And Jalen Brunson was dominant when he was on the court, and when he was off the court, the Knicks did well. I thought when he went to the bench with foul trouble, that they were able to extend the lead at that one point. And I don't think they were really stressed out by the Pacers' speed until the very end. So the Knicks have some stuff to build on going into tonight.
I was going to say also, look, they have to pick people up. The point of attack has to be higher for three-point shots in those kind of game situations at the end. I think the Knicks are going to actually beat up on Indiana tonight. I think the Knicks are a really good team. They can play fast, but you have to play fast in moments that are conducive to the way that you actually play. And quickly, they don't play like the Pacers fast all the time.
The Pacers are used to doing that an entire game. That's not the way every single game the Knicks are not.
Yes. How much of an advantage, and we only have a moment here, but we can spend some more time on it, the advantage in depth that the Pacers have in that. This is a 53-minute game the other night, 48 minutes tonight. As it goes on, that depth becomes more and more important.
That's a question for Tibbs, right? Now, you're talking about 8 men playing at least essentially 10 minutes a game versus 7 for the Knicks. Is Tibbs willing to stress that? His history, Jay Will, says no, that he's not going to do that. Let's see how, and by the way, we're talking accumulation.
Yes.
The Knicks have had tough series already against Detroit, against Boston. What is the accumulation of minutes and exertion, not just in one game, but over now 3 series?
And those defensive breakdowns were mental fatigue instead of physical fatigue. It was different.
The exact point Wendy was making before the series began, that Rick Carlisle was already looking ahead to games 5 and 6 and 7. We'll see. The Knicks need to win tonight, or we may not get any of those games. As we can
12 missed free throws for the game. You're up 17 with 5 minutes left. You're up 14 with 2:40 left. You're up 9 with 52 seconds left. Complete collapse. It was a choke job. That's right. That's what I'm calling it. And we're going to see what they do to respond, because let me tell you something right now. They look like a team, coach, that don't practice. That's what they look. They look like a team that don't practice for the moment. That's how they look. When it really counted, backsides get tight, palms get sweaty. And that's what the hell happened. It looked like anyway with the New York Knicks. I'm totally disgusted. I'm speaking on behalf of the depressed, demoralized New York fan base, and they got to step up and make amends for this. They got cocky, y'all. They got comfortable. They were like, yo, we got this in the bag. Launching ill-advised three-point shots with too much time left on the clock, not protecting the basketball, missing free throws, not defending. How many damn threes does Neesmith have to have? 6 in the fourth quarter, 3 in the last minute. I know 1 was from 30, 2 was from 27. I get that, but damn it, it's still unacceptable. I'm highly upset. Y'all can go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Have you ever seen anything like
this? It's ridiculous.
You know what's wrong with me is I watch this game, I see the tackle in, and I thought of you. And I think that's a problem for me. Why am I thinking of you? But I thought of you, and I actually, for a small second, I had a little empathy for you and Nick and the whole Nick Nation. Those type of games, they do not happen. You saw that stat? Was that 5 of 5 from 3?
And in 1,004.
That never happens.
Inches. Not to mention, for the Indiana Pacers, before we talk about what the New York Knicks can do to rectify this and to make a comeback and to even up this series, because they do not want to go to Indiana down 0-2. The Indiana Pacers, it's like a 1 in 10 million shot that they were able to do this 3 times in the course of a single postseason, Perk. I want to give love to Indiana and show what they did before we talk about more about the New York Knicks.
Absolutely. A complete team, a team that's resilient. They're going to compete for the full 48 minutes, and they're well coached. Right? Rick Carlisle is a hell of a coach. When you bring out the best in players, especially role players, like we saw Neesmith have his legendary moment, you got to give a lot of credit to Rick Carlisle.
Stephen A., I think we should check in on a coach's opinion, right, of how the Knicks can bounce back here, because trying to coach a group through a demoralizing loss like that, what does that look like?
Well, it's a challenge. I was in the bubble. We were down 3-1 twice, came back and won. In 2019, we lost a 4 overtime game to Portland, came back and won. So Tom Thibodeau is going to watch film with his guys today. He's going to hold them accountable. Their own players said it after the game. We let our foot off the gas. You're in the Eastern Conference Finals. There is no such thing as letting your foot off the gas. You have to own it. You have to move on. And we always say this as coaches. It's one game. You can't allow your team to get down. You got to take responsibility, find areas to be better. And as Stephen A. touched on, they have to be a hell of a lot more disciplined. Free throws, turnovers, and three-point defense, which they did a hell of a job of for 3.5 quarters. End of the fourth quarter, they played no three-point defense.
And on top, you talk about accountability. Hold your 2 stars accountable. And I'm talking about Big Body Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. They couldn't guard senior citizens at recess. It was horrible. Do you realize that Jalen Brunson, the Indiana Pacers were 10 for 12 when he was the primary defender? They were searching him out. And here's the point I want to make. Bob, you saw Steph. He took that growth in y'all for a championship, right? Defensively. The Celtics, they were trying to search him out, trying to post him up. He was holding his own. You could see it. You could feel the passion. You saw Nikola Jokic. What did he do when y'all won the championship? He went from one of the worst defenders to one of the best defenders in the postseason. Damn it, when you talk about greatness, it's both sides of the basketball.
All right, fine. But don't talk to Bob Myers. I mean, all he's going to do is laugh at Knicks fans anyway. We don't care what he has to say about this particular subject. It's about New York Knicks fans right now. And while you're sitting up there going,
I said I felt some empathy.
And you're right to point that out. What do you mean, take your foot off the gas? Who the hell are you to take your foot off the gas? Right. Have you looked at the Indiana Pacers? Collectively, one would argue they're a better team. They got 11 dudes averaging 15-plus minutes during the regular season. They go deep. They got a Hall of Fame coach who's already a champion. Tom Thibodeau's a hell of a coach, but he's never been a head coach in a championship round. Who the hell is this team to take their foot off the gas? You Bunsen, your Cat, your Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. What's up? I mean, what's up? All of them. You know what? Step up, understand that guts, grits, precision, toughness, defense is what got you here, okay? Along with Big Body Brunson. You go there and you do your thing. Handle your business. Make up for this because New Yorkers everywhere are depressed because we can't believe what we witnessed. It was historical what happened to the New York Knicks last night. And once again, the New York Knicks are the victims at Madison Square Garden. Somebody's always coming into our house and sitting up there and messing up the party for us. It never, ever fails. Y'all go ahead and talk. I ain't gonna say no more.
It's only one game. Let's get that Pepto back for Stephen A. Let's take a break here and give him some water a little bit.
Let's open that up.
Thanks for watching. You're tuned into the ES3N network. We appreciate you spending your time with us. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a drop. Got thoughts or theories? Drop them in the comments. We read them all. Share this video to help keep important stories alive. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, there's always more to the story. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. But stay tuned. Coming up next, I'll be adding even more value by showing you exactly how to get started with your knitting journey.